Thank you so much for tuning into Horrible People Podcast. I'm Jenn McDonald, and the horrible person that we're speaking with today is just myself. As some of you may have seen, I sent out a call to action a little while ago looking for stories or instances where you, the listeners, have been quote unquote othered, made to feel different, outcast, whatever. Because of your beliefs or your hobbies or your lifestyle, whatever it may be. And I've received some really good stories. I kind of just scanned through them, read them briefly just to make sure that they weren't, too inappropriate. I didn't want to get, stumbled up, hooked up on anything too. I mean, send in whatever you guys want. Inappropriate is fine. I just didn't want anyone trolling me. You know what I mean? So that's what this episode is all about. This is your story. I am going through a few stories that I had submitted. These seem like really good stories, very diverse. So thank you so much for everybody that has sent these in. We also have some questions that were submitted. So I'm going to go through these. These questions I have not looked at yet. I screenshot them from my Instagram whenever I did a call to action asking you guys to ask random questions for an upcoming podcast. And you guys really came through and asked some great questions, but I haven't gone through all of them yet. So if I take a pause and skip some of them, it's because they've been asked before, or it's just, something that doesn't need to be answered right now. So we're going to dive in because I don't want to waste anyone's time. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful day. I want to thank you all so much for listening. If you guys could do, the whole like, subscribe, rate, comment, however, wherever you're listening, that would be greatly appreciated. But honestly, just you guys being here listening, love it. Helps me so much. Really appreciate that you guys are coming back to listen to me yammer on. I know I've had some phenomenal guests, so I apologize that today it is just me and you. I'm going to dive into the first story. And before I go into these, I guess I should say I am definitely still collecting stories. I want this to be a regular, not segment, but episode, I guess. So this would be an episode that I would throw out, maybe once every 2 months, just because I have some amazing guests that come on, but I also know that there are people that wouldn't necessarily be on a podcast that have stories from their own day-to-day of times that they've been othered or outcasted just simply because of who they are. So I'd love to share those stories. And if you guys can submit those, send me an email. My email is Jenn with 2 N's at whywehunt.ca. Write them up. Doesn't need to be fancy. Doesn't need to be long. Doesn't need to be, you don't need to be a professional writer to send these in. Just tell me a little story. Tell me about yourself. And maybe you'll hear your story on the podcast. So the first one, this person wishes to remain anonymous. Totally fine. You guys don't need to submit your names. So I'll dive into this and get to reading. All right. I've been keeping this to myself for a while, but I think it's time I said something. I've decided that I'm going to vote conservative in the upcoming election. That probably won't surprise some people, but for most of my family and friends, it's a big deal. Okay, so you guys are probably hearing this post-election. This was sent in way before our Canadian federal election occurred on April 28th. So keep that in mind. This is pre-election. But for most of my family and friends, it's a big deal, and not in a good way. A lot of people that follow you are probably voting conservative. But a lot of my family and friends are voting liberal. The second I say I'm thinking differently, the vibe changes. People get quiet. They make rude jokes. They act like I've completely lost my mind. They act like I am totally pro-America, pro-Trump. Honestly, it effing sucks. Feeling like I don't belong just because I don't vote the same as everybody else in my circle. I'm not doing this to make anyone mad. I'm not doing this because I haven't been paying attention to what's going on. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I effed that up. I am doing it because I've been paying attention to what's going on, and I don't like the direction we're headed in. Same, girl. I want to hunt one day, not just for sport, but to learn how to be more self-reliant, to connect with nature, and to be part of that tradition. I follow your posts, and you make it look like a beautiful way of life. But with the way the Liberal government is moving, it feels like hunting and even legal gun ownership in general is going to be completely shut down. I don't want to break the law. I just want the freedom to do something that is self-reliant and be a part of a beautiful culture for generations. On top of that, cost of living is getting absolutely out of control. Groceries, rent, gas, a house. I want to buy a house someday. Everything feels harder and harder every single month. I'm working hard. I'm trying to get ahead, and it feels like I'm running in one place. I just don't see how the current government is going to make things any better for regular, everyday people like myself. Also, I live in a big city. I'm starting to feel very uneasy about crime. There have been more break-ins, more violence, and more stories that make me think twice about going out alone, especially at night. I don't feel like the Liberal government is taking public safety seriously anymore. It feels like they're more worried about headlines and sending money to other countries or irrelevant organizations than helping people feel safe where they live. I'm not voting conservative because I hate anybody. I'm doing it because I want a future where I can live the kind of life I believe in, where I can hunt and own a gun if I want to, where I can afford to build myself a life, where I feel safe in my own neighborhood. And right now, I really don't think that the Liberals can offer that. I'm still the same person I've always been. I'm just seeing things a little bit differently. And I'm asking for my friends and family to believe that I'm not a bad person and that I'm making the right choice. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for doing this. I really hope to hear my story on the pod. I like that story. I feel like a lot of people are starting to feel the same way. I unfortunately, this is post-election, so we all know what the results were. Liberals did get another minority government. They won the election. It was pretty close, which is like not sad, but I mean, our country is just so divided right now. I feel like there were a lot of factors that played into this election and the results. I mean, there was like the Trump tariffs, America, 51st state, all that stuff in general. That's kind of all I heard from older people that I spoke to that were deciding to vote Liberal, even people that have voted conservative years prior. Mainstream media played a huge role, which is, I mean, it's crappy. Like, I can see why outlets like CBC would try and sway citizens / voters' opinions, because if Poilievre got in, CBC would lose their taxpayer funding. And if Liberals got in, then they're hunky-dory. Why are you going to speak out against your boss? Why are you going to speak out against the person paying you? So, yeah, I think there were a lot of factors that played into this election. I'm concerned about the direction the country's going in as well. And I am genuinely sorry that you are going through this or went through this. It really, really sucks that people take voting not so seriously. I don't want to say so seriously, but it really sucks that people kind of outcast or look down upon others just because of the way they vote. I mean, you're going to vote one way or another. Half of the country, really half of the country voted conservative. It's not like half of our country is unhinged and hateful and all of that nonsense. So like, who cares? I mean, I have friends that are liberals. I'm clearly someone that has voted conservative. And yeah, like, let's just all get along. We're all Canadian citizens. So this divisive BS needs to end. I really hope that you were able to get through to your family and just explain to them, like, listen, this is how I'm voting. If you don't like it, screw you. I know you can't really say that to family. Well, I mean, I would, but that's different. I feel like my relationship with my family and yours might be a little bit different. But honestly, you know what? I'm here for you. I love, love, love hearing that you are interested in hunting. You're interested in owning a firearm. I highly, highly recommend that you go out and get your hunting license and firearms license as soon as you possibly can. It's still possible. I mean, there are still guns available. I know it seems like our current government is attacking that way of life, but the fact that you want to get into it and that you are seeing that this is a very realistic way of life, a good way of life, is something that you should get into. That's great. You have my email clearly, so if you have any questions, let me know. And anybody that's listening that doesn't have their hunting license, doesn't have their firearms license, and is interested in doing so, friggin' go out and do it. It's not too late. Just because the Liberals got in doesn't mean, you know, the world's burned up and shut down. There's still time. Get your license, get your gun, and get to hunting or shooting or whatever you want to do. It's a beautiful way of life. Couldn't recommend it more. As someone that grew up anti-hunter, weird, I know, but that's a whole story in its own. My mind changed quickly whenever I educated myself on what hunting is, what firearms ownership is. So yeah, just go do it. All right, so we have another story. And honestly, again, thank you so much for submitting that. These stories that I have received are phenomenal. Very much appreciated. And I truly believe that these stories are going to help other people. So thank you for your service. All right, let's see. This one is from, this person does not need to remain anonymous. This is from, who's this from? Michael Anthony from BC. Hey. All right. I like to go hunting. Awesome. That's perfect. Ties in with our last story. I do it because I enjoy being outside. I use the meat to help feed my family. I also care a lot about animals and nature, but some people don't understand that. Some of my friends and family think hunting is cruel. They say mean things or act like I'm doing something wrong. That makes me feel sad. I wish they would just try to understand why I do it. When I post about hunting online, people say very hurtful things. They call me names. They say I'm a terrible person. Some people even say I should die. Honey, I have received those death threats. It is crazy. For those of you that know, I'm expecting a child. And I have, ever since I kind of briefly advertised online that I am with child, the anti-hunters that target my page have been like targeting my child, my unborn child, like wishing ill things. Which, I mean, how messed up is that? Come on, people, get your shit together. Some people even say I should die. That really hurts. I'm not trying to upset anybody. I'm just sharing something that's important to me. Hunting is not just about killing an animal. It's about being outside, learning patience, and doing things the right way. I always try to be respectful. I follow the rules in the field and on social media, and I do truly care about the animals and the land. I know not everybody likes hunting, and that's fine, but I wish people wouldn't be so mean to me because of it. I'm just a person who likes to be outdoors and wants to be treated with kindness just like everybody else. That is a very, very sweet letter /email. I think that would resonate with a lot of hunters. A friend of mine actually recently did a seminar for an organization that she works for that was talking about the kind of hate that hunters receive online. So she had asked for a few examples from hunters that she knows, myself included. And I had some pretty shocking examples. I mean, I had people wishing that I would die from cancer, that another hunter would shoot me, just like disgusting things, like things that I read and I'm like, how is Facebook not flagging this? This is demonic. This is weird. And it's for something they don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. People, and I don't want to say people because it's not the majority. It's a small group of truly anti-hunters that don't understand what hunting is and they don't wish to understand it. And just like the gun debate in Canada, they've kind of been told that being cruel to somebody that doesn't have the same beliefs as them is okay and it's acceptable. And it's just shocking because I truly feel that if I left those kinds of comments on anybody else's page, they'd get flagged. Law enforcement might even be involved. I would get torn limb from limb. But when an anti-hunter leaves a nasty, disgusting, pitiful comment on a hunter's page, it's just like, meh, that's fine. You get what you get. Like, what? And a lot of the time, it's not even like they're vegan. Like, even if you're vegan, don't be a jerk about things. But it's not even like they're just vegan. Like, these people eat meat. And I am so sorry. My email keeps going off. I hope you guys can't hear that dinging. But it's like they eat meat. So it's like, do you understand why we hunt? And you try and educate them, but they're just so on guard or so defensive or so blinded by rage and hate that they don't want to listen to anything you have to say. It makes them feel better to demonize you and to pretend like you're just the scum of the earth, worst person that's ever walked the planet, because it justifies their hate and ignorance. So honestly, man, keep posting. You're going to find your niche. The algorithm is going to send people that are like-minded, people that like hunting, to you. And the hate comments will slow down, I promise. Anytime I start, I mean, it's been a long time since I've started a new account, but when I started a new account on Instagram, the algorithm feeds you anybody and everybody just trying to figure out where you belong. And unfortunately, social media doesn't have the most understanding people that will hit your website or your page first. So you're going to get those hateful comments. Facebook, same thing. YouTube, same thing. TikTok. Oh my God. TikTok was bad. I don't have TikTok anymore. Kind of gave up on that because I can't really post anything that is relevant to my page, my brand, whatever I advertise. It gets taken down in no time. If there's anything firearms related, hunting related, they kibosh it. But the amount of hate that I received from TikTok is just mind blowing. So honestly, just keep posting. You're going to find your people and be proud of who you are. All you can really do is calmly educate these people. And even though the majority of the people that are ignorant and deranged enough to leave such hateful comments, like the ones saying that you should die, or the people that have wished cancer and miscarriages on me, they're probably not going to want to hear what you're saying, but other people will read those comments and you'll teach them something. I mean, I just comment back saying, you know what, we abide by a very strict set of regulations and rules. We care about the animal. We hunt for food. It's population control. It's great for the species. We're number one conservationists. All of that. People that are indifferent about hunting will read that and they'll learn something, and you might turn them into pro hunters. So yeah, not pro like professional, but, pro as in not anti-hunting. So just honestly, let it slide off you like oil. It don't matter none. It sucks. It can be very frustrating to read, but screw them. Honestly, thank you so much for writing that one, because that is very well suited for what I've been receiving lately, comment-wise. I appreciate this letter. I have one more letter. I had 3 very relevant, great stories submitted, and then a bunch of questions. So I'll read this last story, and then I'll go through a few questions, and then you guys don't have to hear me rambling on for another week. Let me see. All right. Is this the right one? Yes. This is from Carly McIntyre from Toronto. Hey, I'm a few hours from Toronto. How you doing? I'm atheist. Me too. That's just part of who I am. It doesn't mean I'm angry. It doesn't mean I'm trying to change anyone's beliefs. I just don't believe necessarily that there is a God. But I realize saying that out loud really changes how people look at me. And for real, it's been tough. Yeah, I hear you. I'm atheist. I question the existence of God, obviously. And in some situations, I come from an extremely conservative area. So I often have a hard time when people ask me what my religion is. As much as I like to say, I don't care what people think about me, I also don't want to offend anyone. And I often feel that if I tell people I'm atheist, that they will be offended, or it'll start a whole conversation that I don't want to get into, because honestly, for me, it ain't that deep. I don't care. You're not going to change my mind, and I don't want to sit there for half an hour while you try to. But yeah, on with the story. There have been times where I felt left out and judged. I feel like I don't belong. I've been told that I can't have morals without religion, and I must be going through some sort of crisis. I've sat through prayers at dinners with family. I go to church with family on special occasions because I'm just going to roll with it. I don't need to be excluded from that. I don't need to sit out. I'll go. I just don't believe. I stay quiet so that I don't make anybody feel uncomfortable, while I often feel uncomfortable myself. I laugh off the comments because... What is that? I'm so sorry. I'm having a hard time reading that. My eyes. I laugh off the comments, but really it does bother me. It shouldn't be a big deal, and over time, people seem to accept it. But I just truly believe there's no higher power. I still believe in kindness. I still believe in doing the right thing. I still believe in community. I care about people. I care about the planet and all of the stuff that matters. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a criminal. It doesn't mean I don't have morals. I just truly don't believe in God. I'm not asking for pity here. I just wanted you to know that as an atheist, sometimes the world looks at me differently. Yeah, I get that. I hate that religion can be so divisive. I am surprised that in 2025, religion is still something that people are so divided on. I mean, I have, again, small town, conservative area, very religious community in a sense. So as an atheist, sometimes people look at you differently. I think people confuse being atheist with, like, I don't know, worshiping Satan or something crazy. So thank you for sharing that story. Really, really, really appreciate the submission. It's kind of nice to read because, yeah, I mean, people that are religious, and I know a few of my listeners, or a lot of my listeners, are obviously, either religious, or at least they're not atheist. They believe in God. I don't want to offend you guys whatsoever either. I mean, it's just my belief, and I respect your religious beliefs, and I get everyone wanting their religious beliefs being respected as well. Sorry, that was a jumble of word salad on my end as a response. But no, that was a great story. I really appreciate that. Those were some really, really, really good perspectives. And like I said, I think that'll really help some people. I know people go through stuff. I know that life can be tough. I know that everything can feel extra divisive lately, from vaccines to not being vaccinated, from politics, from religion, from lifestyles, from parenthood. Like, there's just, it doesn't have to be black and white, people. I mean, if it doesn't hurt you, friggin' you do you, and live and let live. I have a few questions here. So these are from Instagram. I screenshot them and print them out because I'm elderly. So I'm going to go through a few of these questions, and then I will relieve you because I feel like you guys are probably really tired of hearing me talk. Let me scan through these. One question. How do you choose which people you want to interview? Good question. So some of them are people that I have followed on social media for quite some time, and I realize that they have an alternative lifestyle, or they're people that may have experienced quote unquote othering or negativity in their life, I should say, just based on how they live. So I'll reach out to those people and say, yo, want to come on the podcast and talk about your way of life? I also go looking for people. So I'll get a topic in my head like men's rights, what's going on in Ukraine, religion, sexuality, culture, all of that fun stuff. And I'll do my research. I'll try and find people or organizations that seem reputable, and they seem knowledgeable, and they seem like very good representatives of their community and good candidates. And I'll reach out to them and see if they want to educate the audience and talk more about who they are, why they are, what they do. I have a lot of really, really fascinating individuals coming on in the next few weeks. I'm so excited to share those with you. You guys are going to learn so much. And that's basically it. Honestly, it's either people I know, or I'll get a topic in my head and I'll go searching. Can we suggest topics or guests for future episodes? Please do. So I'm also asking you guys to submit questions, submit stories of times that you have been outcast, othered, misunderstood, whatever the case may be, for how you live, who you are. But if you could submit topics or guest ideas, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Anything you'd like to hear about, anything you'd like to learn about, topics that you think would suit the podcast well, demographics that are often othered, divided, looked down upon, whatever. What episode should I start with as a new listener? Honestly, episode 1 would be the best to start with. So that is where I interviewed Travis Bader from Silvercore Podcast, and he really did shape the direction that the podcast went in. Originally, it was just going to be a hunting and gun related podcast, and he inspired me to broaden my horizon and interview people that were different. Educate on people that have been quote unquote othered, which means they are made to feel different, seen differently, misunderstood. So that's a great one to start on. And then any podcasts, I mean, all of the episodes are absolutely fantastic. So other than that, yeah, just start from the newest one, work your way back. Start from the oldest one, work your way forward. Listen to them all. Listen to one, listen to two, whatever you want to do. Appreciate it. Let me see. What are your favorite podcasts? I get asked this every time. My podcast roster is kind of odd. I listen to Silvercore podcast, very educational. I listen to Your Mom's House with Tom Segura and Christina P because they are absolutely hilarious. I listen to Morbid podcast, which is a true crime podcast. I listen to the Viral podcast with Chelsea Lynn and Paige Jin, which is another comedy podcast. Podcasts are a great way for me just to kind of have something going in my ear while I'm working or cleaning up around the house. I don't have to really focus on them too much. Driving, that's another one. Love listening to podcasts while I'm doing my long drives for work. So a lot of them are like comedy-based podcasts that I can just sort of disassociate to, and I don't really need to use my brain a whole lot. There's Slop City with Tina D-Ball and Libby Higgins, another funny comedy podcast. Trailer Tales. The Daily Brief. So I listen to that one every day. It is a political podcast. Just kind of, keeps me in the loop, make sure I'm not missing anything politics-wise. I'll tune into the CCFR podcast just so that I can make sure I'm not missing anything firearms related, and I can stay up to date with what's going on with our friends at the Consumer Gun Organization. And I feel like I'm missing one that I listen to quite often, but that gives you a good idea. I listen to a wide range of podcasts, from educational to political to crime to comedy. Let me see. How's your day? Thanks for asking. My day's good. I got up early to go turkey hunting. Did not, unfortunately, harvest a turkey yet this year. It was super rainy this morning, but I heard them gobbling like crazy. I couldn't stay out as late as I wanted because I had to get my butt back to the office to do some work. But it was nice to hear them gobble. I heard them coming closer and closer, and then didn't hear anything for a while. So it was pouring. It was windy. I packed her up, hoping to get back out tomorrow. Other than that, I've just kind of been working all day. Work's been great. It's been busy. We're starting to engage a lot with the government and policymakers again now that the election's over. So that's always honestly pretty exciting / stressful / discouraging / encouraging. It's a whole whackload of emotions whenever you deal with politics and political entities. I feel like there was a question in this sheet that went well with that question. What got you involved in advocacy? Okay, yeah, I guess that fits as well. What got me involved in advocacy? I'm assuming you mean firearms advocacy, because that is part of my job and a big part of my social media. The May 2020 prohibitions. So honestly, before May of 2020, I was very minimally involved in politics. I hunted. I was a sports shooter. But May 1st of 2020, the federal government unleashed a huge slew of gun bans, which was completely wild, completely unnecessary, completely ineffective, and a huge waste of money. And from that day, I was like, holy mother F, I need to get involved, because I didn't really realize how much our government was attacking our community. So, got involved from there, got on social media, looked into a bunch of the advocacy organizations, educated myself on the political side, the history of, I guess, firearm regulations that negatively impact the community in Canada. Tried to get connected with other advocates, and yeah, it just kind of grew from there. So yeah, it was May 2020. Well, that was the day I was like, holy shit, I'm getting into this. What do you do for work? That was the question I was thinking of. So I am the managing director of CS AAA, often confused with CSSA, another fantastic organization, but CSSA is a consumer organization. CS AAA is the industry organization. So the Canadian Sporting Arms and Ammunition Association. We represent firearm, hunting, archery, ammunition businesses all across Canada, anywhere from outfitters to retailers to firearms media outlets, distributors, manufacturers, everybody and anybody that is in the hunting, firearms, and archery industry businesses. I have been doing that for holy liftin' almost 4 years now. It feels like I just started. I have so much to learn, and I have learned so much already. The board of directors, so CS AAA is basically fueled off of a board of volunteer directors, an absolutely phenomenal group of men and women, stakeholders in the industry. They're all voted in by members of CS AAA. Our members are made up of business owners throughout Canada. These men and women are, as I said, volunteers. They lend a hand, they lend their expertise, they help guide the direction of our organization. We work a lot with the government to try and minimize impactful regulations that are going to harm the community and our industry. And we do as much as we can to support the businesses out there. So anything from if they're having issues with licensing, or if they're having issues with shipping, importing, exporting, understanding regulations, government affairs, everything and anything. Like, the spectrum of things I work on and deal with in a day is just wild. We host events, we host trade shows, which we haven't unfortunately hosted a trade show in the past year just because the industry is kind of at a little bit of a tough spot right now. So trade shows are a little bit difficult for people to get out to with all the prohibitions and regulations and restrictions. But we host legends banquets so that we can really honor the men and women that have made our hunting and firearms industry what it is today. There are so many men and women that have fought so hard over the past few decades to try and protect and promote the industry as much as possible, as well as the community. So that's my job. I absolutely love it. And yeah, that's what I do. I also kind of have a bunch of little like side gigs, a few things that I can mention and some things that I can't mention. So what I can mention is that I do little video clips for Fishing the Wild West TV's Wild Cookhouse. I'm doing different wild game and foraged cooking videos. You guys are going to be seeing those coming up in season 10 of Fishing the Wild West with Wes David. So exciting. And a few other adventures and endeavors that I have going on that can't quite be announced quite yet. And I am realizing that I've been blabbering on for way too long. We're almost getting to that 45-minute mark, so I'll answer one more question. Two more questions, because these questions, I'm seeing two on here that are kind of tying in together. I see you like to cook a lot. What's your favorite meal to cook? I cannot answer that. I'm so sorry. I love cooking. So I love cooking a wide variety of things from the plain old meat and potatoes kind of dinner to something more elaborate. I love Italian dishes. I love Mexican dishes. I love anything wild game. I like to experiment. I like trying to cook as healthy as possible while still making food that I'm going to enjoy because I love to eat. Tonight, I think I'm going to I have sausages that are made from Canada Goose. I have some bok choy. I have some green beans. I have some other stuff rolling around in the fridge. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to make yet, but I'll throw something together and hopefully it's delicious. And what is your go-to meal? What is your go-to meal? Oh, what's your go-to fast food meal when you're traveling? So I travel for work sometimes. And this is so bad, but I love fast food sometimes. I mean, I try to stay away from it as much as possible. But when I'm traveling, I'm really like, a little cheeseburger won't hurt. I'm not a breakfast person, so I like A&W because they serve cheeseburgers 24/7. So if I'm traveling early in the morning to go somewhere, I can stop at A&W on the highway at friggin' 6:00 in the morning and get myself a nice dirty cheeseburger with some onion rings. And that is my ideal breakfast. Love me some Taco Bell. Pitas, like Pita Pit or something like that. Extreme Pita makes me feel a little bit healthier. That kind of stuff. Big cheeseburger and bar food kind of gal. But with that being said, I feel like I've been rambling for too long. I feel like everything was all over the place. I hope you guys were able to follow along. And like I said, it would be very much appreciated if you guys could leave a rating, subscribe, share, comment, follow, listen. I don't know, man. Whatever the case may be, just engage with the podcast. It helps me grow. It helps me build up the podcast. And I would love even the simplest story. It doesn't have to be anything crazy elaborate. Just a story about a time that you've been misunderstood or othered or outcasted because of what you do, who you are, how you live, what you believe in, whatever. You don't need to be a professional writer to send me anything. Just type her up in an email, send it over, and I'll read it on the podcast and let you know what I think. Questions are always welcome, as well as topic suggestions. So I hope you guys liked this episode. If you didn't, don't worry. Episodes like this are only going to come out every few months. And keep an eye open for the next episode. Episodes come out every single Wednesday. And the next episode is going to be a huge eye-opener. Totally off topic from anything guns or hunting related. It was a huge eye-opener for me. A topic that I was very uninformed about. And a topic that from comments that I see on social media, a lot of people are very uninformed about. So have a listen, learn something, reach out anytime, ask a question anytime. Doesn't need to be a question that I'll read out on the podcast. If you have a question about how to get your gun license, your hunting license, whatever, most of you know how to reach me. If not, there's links in the show notes or the description, depending on where you're listening. And thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. And for those of you that are turkey hunting this season, best of luck and congratulations if you've already harvested something. Thank you.